How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. So in today's video, we're finally going to get started working on the Camaro here. Pulled it out and we're going to get ready to pressure wash it before we tear into doing anything. And I think it's actually due for a wash because it's been sitting for quite some time. I don't think the previous owner ever washed it or cleaned it up. He might have got the barn dust off of it, because if you guys missed the last video, you'll find out that this car was actually a barn find. It's been parked since 1992. That's actually the last time it's been inspected, so that's pretty cool. If you guys missed out on the previous two videos, make sure you go back and check those out. I'll leave some tags up above and as well as in the description. But we're gonna get ready to pressure wash this car, and then after we clean it up, we'll start tearing into it. I'll take you guys around it real quick. I wanted to clean it up first before we start any body work on it. So we're gonna get ready to take off the vinyl top here. I'm not sure if we'll get to that in this video or not, but I mainly want to clean up the car to start doing the body work on the hole down here on the rocker, as well as at the bottom of the front fender up here. So let's get ready to clean up that car. I think it'll shine up pretty good. Granted, it has patina on it and it's going to get repainted here sometime in the future, but I'm just excited to get all these cobwebs and leaves and dirt off, so let's get to cleaning.
Update, we're gonna see what happens. We sprayed stuff.
Well, guys, we just finished cleaning up the Camaro and I think it looks a lot better. As far as the washes goes, I did a first initial power wash and then I put on some dish soap. I only use this because it helps with the degreasing and getting some of that dirt and grime off. I wouldn't use this if I was professionally detailing a car. And then I pressure washed it again, and then I used some of that engine degreaser and cleaned up the engine bay a little bit, and I think the engine bay looks a lot better, especially on the wheel wells here. They were filthy. They were covered in road grime and just grease and all sorts of junk. So that came out a lot better. I'm happy with that. And it is getting a little late on us here, so I think tomorrow we'll start picking up on actually doing some work on the Camaro. I think I'm actually going to pull off that vinyl top, so we're seeing what we're going to work with underneath of there once we rip that off. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think I'm just going to close up shop here for tonight, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Tomorrow.
Well, guys, here we are on the next day. The car's looking really good, all nice and cleaned up from last night. Unfortunately, we already got some bird poop on it, but I guess that's what happens because I got to keep my cars outside. I don't have a shop yet, unfortunately. So hopefully someday soon we'll have one. Keep growing the channel with your guys' support. Hopefully we'll make one of those dreams come true here for us. So that'll be really cool. Maybe get this car inside someday to work on it. And it'd be cool to work on it in the rain, you know, once the bad weather hits and wintertime rolls around. But here's another shot of the engine bay that we got cleaned up yesterday. Put a bunch of degreaser in there, and like I said, the wheel wells came out really nice. There is some still down in the corners here, but I'll get that cleaned up off camera so I don't bore you guys with all the cleaning. But as far as today goes for working on the car, we're actually going to fill up a flat tire that we got in the back here. Got the air hose run over from the compressor. And hopefully there's no holes in that tire. It's just flat from old age and from sitting. So we're going to get that taken care of. And I'm going to unload the trunk here to see if I can find the nozzle to pump up those air shocks. That way we're riding nice and level. So let's get to work on that. And then after we get all that taken care of, maybe we'll rip off this vinyl top. So let's get to work. Well guys, unfortunately the valve stem to fill up the air shocks is not inside the trunk here anywhere, not that I can see. So I'm gonna have to crawl underneath the car and see if I can follow the air line that goes to the shocks to actually see where it goes to. That way I can fill them up. But I think I'm just gonna get rid of this old carpet here. As you can see, it's just pretty deteriorated, and I'll shop vac out all this dirt and grime and wipe that down. I'll probably eventually repaint it, but I'll just leave all this stuff out for now. It's in really good shape in here. There's just a little bit of surface rust, but the trunk pan's absolutely beautiful in here. So I guess I'll just crawl underneath the car and see if I can find that line. Well guys, after crawling underneath the car, I was able to find the valve stem, how to fill up these air shocks. It's actually on a splitter block underneath the car. There's an air line coming out each side, and then the valve stem is right on the front of it. So I'm going to crawl under there and add some air to it, and hopefully these shocks will get pumped up. But I think at some point I'm going to drill a hole in the trunk and run the line up through the trunk floor here. That way it's easier to get to. That's how it is in my Plymouth, and it's super easy. I love it. So that'll be a nice little modification I do sometime here in the future. But for now, let's crawl underneath the car, add some air to it, and see if we can raise it up a little bit. Well guys, I was able to get a few things done. I got that tire filled up with air. I got the air shocks pumped up, and I think that's sitting a lot better. It doesn't look squatted anymore. But I think down the road I might end up shackling it up, maybe an inch or two. I think that'll give it a nice aggressive look. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your opinions in the comments below. And I was also able to get the trunk vacuumed out a little bit. There was a little bit of dirt in there, but not too much. I end up saving the old carpet. That way I can use it as a template to make my own. I'll just draw around it and cut out a new piece for it. So that'll come in handy down the road here once we get the trunk all squared away. So now that we got all that done, the air shocks and the tire is the main thing I wanted to get done today. But I think we're going to tear into that vinyl top here, take a look at it, and see what we need to do to get that off. So let's get to work. Well guys, believe it or not, this vinyl top is kicking my butt. It's a lot harder to take off than I first initially thought. But we're making some progress here. This little bit that I did took about 20 minutes, believe it or not. Wouldn't look like that in the video because I time-lapsed it, but it's pretty humid out here and I'm sweating. But I'm gonna try to get this knocked out, or as much as I can, before it gets dark out here. And so let's get back to work. Well guys, believe it or not, we're actually running out of daylight here today, but we got the majority of the vinyl top taken off and I think it's coming out great. I haven't seen any surface rust. It looks fantastic under there, so that's a good sign. So I guess I'll just catch you guys tomorrow and we'll finish taking off that vinyl top.
The next day.
Well guys, here we are on the next day. Had to wait for some rain to pass earlier in the day before we could work on the Camaro again. And I did notice one thing from last night till this morning. The air shocks unfortunately settled back down, so I'll have to add that to the parts list to get. So get a new set of air shocks on the way so we can get the car sitting right. But we're gonna get back on this vinyl top here. We're gonna remove this last little bit. First thing we're gonna do is pop off this windshield trim all the way around. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about the drip rails here, but I'll figure that out after we get that front part off. So let's get ready to take off that trim and pull off some more top. So guys, I was able to get that windshield trim off without much hassle. It was just a few clips holding it on. I popped them off and the trim came right off. As far as the drip rail goes, that was a bit more involved. I was able to get it off on the passenger side here. So first you had to remove the weather stripping, and then there was a steel layer beneath that had a few screws attached to it that held it in place, and it was also glued, so I had to peel it off a little bit. And then underneath of there was some screw holes that actually held on the trim molding, so you couldn't just pop it off. You actually had to take all that apart in order to get it off, but it wasn't too bad. It came apart pretty easily, so I still got to do it on the driver's side, and gonna knock that out, and then we'll finally have the entire vinyl top all taken off 100%. So I'm really looking forward to getting that done, and then hopefully we'll be able to sand it down and get all that glue residue off. So I'm gonna get back to work and try to knock it out. Well guys, it is once again a new day, but as you can see, we got the majority of the vinyl top off, all the windshield trim, the drip rail side trim, and it's coming out really good. So the next step is to actually try to get this remaining vinyl top residue and the glue off. I'm going to be using this Nason reducer. As you can see, I already did a test spot right here. It seems to be working pretty good. There's a little bit left over. I'm not too worried about it if it affects the paint or not, because like I said, I'm repainting the entire car. So I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully it works out pretty good. So I'm gonna pour a little bit more on there, get my gloves on, protection first, and just get right to work. So let's try to knock this out. And yes guys, I did get a haircut and I shaved, so I no longer look like a mountain man or a homeless man, whatever you want to call me, I don't care. Now that I'm looking good, let's try to get this car looking good. Yeah. Hey, there ain't no Cummins in that thing.
Ain't no Cummins.
Well, well as you guys can see, we finally got all the vinyl top off. All that's left on here is some of the glue residue, and we're going to be taking that off in the next video, hopefully with the sander. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it seemed a bit all over the place with washing the engine bay, trying to fill up those air shocks and starting to take off that vinyl top, but hey, I had a heck of a time starting to work on this Camaro. It was really fun finally starting to get the tear into it, and I hope you guys were excited as well. If you guys missed out on any of the previous videos we did on this car, make sure you guys go check the playlist I'll tag up above as well as in the description. That's when we went to go look at the car and when we finally brought it home. And I also ran over the story and the history of the car as well. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on any other future videos on the restoration of the 79 Camaro, as well as the Dakota, the Plymouth, my brother's Cummins. We got a bunch of vehicles to work on and a bunch of content on the way, so make sure you guys don't miss out. And turn on that little notification bell too if you didn't already. But yeah, I think in the next video here we're gonna use the sander and take off the rest of the glue residue, hopefully to prep it for paint, as well as starting to clean up some of the rust areas on the car. There's not too many, but I want to prep it for paint, hopefully before winter time here. So I'm looking forward to that. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and leave your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to see anything else on the car or even the other vehicles, let me know and we'll try to film a video on it. But I think we're just going to sign off with the usual, and we'll catch you in the next one. Always accelerate and don't look back. See you next time.